All right, Shalom. This is Brother Nahalia from the GMS Orlando camp. I want to start off by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rokah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, who are the elders of Yasher Allah, and a sincere salutation to all Yuakim, who are preaching this word and believing this word, and to the Akwath, who believe this word, all right, in all truth and in sincerity. Yahweh is the name of the one they ignorantly call God. Yahweh Shai is the name of the one they ignorantly call Jesus. Bahashem is in the name. Rakah is spirit. Kodash is holy. Akyam is brothers. Akwath is sisters. Shalom means peace, and Yasher Allah is Israel in the ancient Paleo-Hebrew. There's Ecclesiastes chapter 10 and verse 6. And it reads, folly is set in great dignity, and the rich sit in low place. Verse 7, I have seen servants upon horses, and princes walking as servants upon the earth. And I want to go into a lesson through the spirit that the real rich of the nation of Israel sit in low place. All right. When you look at what's been set as success, what's been set as the standard for our people, it's really folly, called by another name. When you look at what Esau did, he basically switched out the names for the things that our people are chasing. All right. And what our people look at as success is really just folly. All right, now check this out. There's Ecclesiastes 10 and 6 in the NLT. When they give great authority to foolish people and low positions to people of proven worth. Now think about that, right? Great authority has been given to foolish people amongst our nation. All right, when you think about the ones who have been set up as leaders amongst our people, when you look at those who have been given power and authority over our people, they're really foolish. All right. They modeled themselves after the wicked, which is Esau Edom. All right. So they're small miniature versions of Esau Edom. This is why the rap culture really involves glorifying Esau's culture. And what's that? Covetousness. All right. Violence, robbery. And these are things that our people follow after. All right. Because, again, great authority has been given to foolish men of our nation. All right. And this is why the Lord is coming to turn things right side up, because as we know, things have been turned upside down. It is Isaiah chapter 29 and verse 16. Surely your turning of things upside down shall be esteemed as the potter's clay. For shall the work say of him that made it, he made me not? Or shall the thing framed say of him that framed it, he had no understanding? All right. So what has happened is the world has been turned upside down, and those who are actually servants have been given dominion, chiefly Esau Edom. All right. And then the other nations, which are his accessories to the crime. They're really the servants of the nation of Israel, but they've been given authority on this side. And in return, they've given authority concerning our people to the foolish. This is why the highest paid people of our nation are what? Entertainers. All right. Athletes or entertainers, because, again, folly has been set in great dignity, because by them doing that, what they say to the world is that this is all they can bring to the table, when the true rich of our nation, all right, sit in low place. All right. Real quick. This is Proverbs chapter 19 and verse 10. Delight is not seemly for a fool, much less for a servant to have rule over princes. Now, when you read this in the NLT, it says, Proverbs 19 and 10 in the NLT, it isn't right for a fool to live in luxury or for a slave to rule over princes. And both statements are correct, Salakia, because, again, our people believe that they're in a comfortable position in this society, one way or the other, but they don't realize that this place is about to change. Likewise, Esau, who has rulership over us, all right, it says it isn't right. When you read the NLT, it isn't right for a slave to have rule over princes. And you can tell by the condition of the earth that Esau is not the true prince. They're not the true princes of the earth. All right. The self-proclaimed white man as a nation of people are in rulership. They have dominion over the earth. And the product speaks for itself. If they were the right ones for the rulership, or if they were the right ones for dominion, all right, the world wouldn't look like this. All right, there's Proverbs 29 and 2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked bears rule, the people mourn. Also, when you read this in the NLT, it says, when the godly are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked are in power, they groan. All right. And actions speak louder than words. So the Lord gives us a description. All right. And the actions follow through. The Lord is known by the judgment which he executed. All right. And as it says in Ecclesiastes 10:6, the real rich of the nation of Israel are in a low estate. You know, they're not the ones that Esau promotes to our people. Think about that. The ones that Esau puts in our people's face the most, who do they model themselves after? And when you really dig deep into it in the spirit, they model themselves after the so-called white man. All right. And this is why our people are deceived, because, again, Esau has taught the foolish of our people. He's given them great authority, and he's taught them how to catch men like he does. All right. This is Jeremiah chapter 5 and verse 26. For among my people are found wicked men. They lay wait as he that setteth snares. They set a trap. They catch men. All right. Now this describes the ones that are propped up as the rich of our people. Basically the princes of our people, the heads of our people. But really the rich sit in low place. The true rulership of the nation of Israel are sitting in a low estate as they wait for the King of Kings to arrive and establish order. See, we live in a world of disorder where things have been turned upside down. So foolish things have been glorified and things that are right have been demonized and outcasted. But the possessors of things that are good and right are actually the rich of the world. Lord willing, we be a part of that number. Let's go to this. This is 2 Corinthians chapter 4 and verse 7. But we have this treasure in earthen vessels, that the excellency of the power may be of Yahweh Shema Shai and not of us. Because a lot of our people who have possessions, they regard their identity with those possessions. And in turn, they believe that their works are of themselves. Oftentimes you hear our people say, you know, I spent such and such hours in the gym. I spent such and such hours making this album. And this is why I am successful. This is why I am the rich. Well, the scriptures say that the rich sit in low place and they have this treasure in earthen vessels, that the excellency of the power may be of Yahweh Shema Shai and not of us. Lord willing, we be a part of that number. You weren't called. You didn't choose the Lord. You were called and Lord willing chosen. But you didn't choose the Lord. That way it is no bragging rights on your behalf. But the Lord has set you up, Lord willing, we endure to the end, to be the rich of the nation of Israel. Because the nation of Israel as a whole, we are the rich that sit in low place. But amongst Israel is the Israel of Yahweh Shema Shai, that remnant that has returned to the Heavenly Father. They possess a different treasure. Their treasure is not temporal. See, the things that our people are gathering up are temporal. The things that our people put their heart and soul into are temporal. Because this kingdom and the success or accolades of this kingdom is not going to be discussed in the next. All right. Again, 2 Corinthians 4 and 7 reads, but we have this treasure in earthen vessels, that the excellency of the power may be of Yahweh Shema Shai and not of us. So the real rich of our people, and just think about this, right? If they look up to the folly that our people bring to the table, imagine the actual rich of the nation of Israel. All right. And I want to bring out a precept to back that up, because they look up to our people for rapping and for athleticism. All right. But these are not the rich of our people. Because, you know, you have these world leaders. They represent their people. They represent their nation. So they're basically the strength of their nation, if you will. They're the head of their nation. Well, the head of our nation on the world stage are entertainers. So if they're impressed or envious of those that Esau has given a bag to, who have no knowledge, who are really the foolish that Esau has propped up to make our people chase foolish and folly, then how much more the rich? All right, real quick, this is Ecclesiastes chapter 10 and verse 30. The poor man is honored for his skill, and the rich man is honored for his riches. He that is honored in poverty, how much more in riches? And he that is dishonorable in riches, how much more in poverty? You know, they have a saying in the world, some people are so poor that all they have is money. And you think about the average Negro, Latino, or Native American, especially amongst the so-called wealthy, all right, the so-called rich, if you took that from them, they really wouldn't have nothing else to offer you. Not even a decent conversation. But Esau has taught our people that possessions equals wealth. And it doesn't. That's why the rich actually sit in low place. And that's why it's described as such. Matter of fact, let's go here. Salakia, bear with me. This is Revelation chapter 2 and verse 9. And it reads, I know thy works in tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich. Going back to the rich sitting in low place. And this is by design, right? Because Esau has taught our people that possessions are how you identify yourself. How you tell who's who is according to the amount of possessions they have. But what did the Lord tell us? This is Luke 12 and 15. And he said unto them, take heed and beware of covetousness. For a man's life consisteth not in the abundance of the things which he possesseth. And this is why the Lord points out you can't serve him and manna. Because when you make money and the chase and the love of money your God, your identity is at that moment changed, because now you're following a carrot on a stick. When you serve Yahweh Shema Shai, you're really returning back to the old path, because us as a nation of people, our nature and our purpose is to serve Yahweh Shema Shai. That is our purpose. Now we are shaping in iniquity, but to the best of our ability, we strive to serve Yahweh Shema Shai. But when you make money your God, so to speak, you become a different person entirely, and you stray away from what your purpose actually is. This is why our people have this mentality that this money is going to fix all their problems. But what did the Lord say? It's Revelation chapter 3 and verse 17. Because thou sayest, I am rich and increased with goods and have need of nothing, and knowest not that thou art wretched and miserable and poor and blind and naked. Because the riches our people chase aren't riches. It's shit and glitter. Think about it. And this is what Esau props up as our people's idea of success. And this is why folly is set in great dignity. And this is why the rich actually sit in a low place. The real elites of our people sit in a low estate. Lord willing, we be amongst that number and a part of that number. All right, the real rich sit in low place. Beginning with our apostles on down. All right, Lord willing, we endure to the end. That's where the rich sit. In a low estate, waiting for the riches, which is Yahweh Shah Mashiach, to return. Matter of fact, let's go here. This is Revelation chapter 2 and verse 26. And he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron. As the vessels of a potter shall they be broken to shivers, even as I received of my Father. Now, what is that in comparison to being celebrated as an athlete or some kind of musician? It's folly in actuality. All right. And this is why the rich actually sit in low place, because those that are of the rich are actually the elect that sit in low place. Those are the rich of the nation of Israel. But in this world, they're not going to be regarded as such. They're not going to receive their fame and renown on this side, because folly is set in great dignity. People glorify darkness in this world, so light is always going to be offensive. Good is set against evil. And right now, evil is in rulership. As that translation of power from evil to good, all right, from Esau to Jacob, right now, the established glory, so to speak, the established rulership in this world is evil. They have dominion at this point. They have the perceived glory. I'll call it that. But in actuality, all right, the inheritors of everything under Yahweh Shai are sitting in a lower state and are looked at as such. Yet they are the rich. And that's why it's beautiful when you read Revelation chapter 2, all right, and you jump up to verse 9, it says, I know thy works in tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich. And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. All right. And this is the back and forth, if you will, that wickedness is being glorified and righteousness is being demonized. But the possessors of the righteousness, according to Yahweh Shai Shai's mercy, are the actual rich on the earth. And while our people are trying to cover up their shame with possessions, the true riches, the true possession to be gotten is wisdom. And that can only be given to you. You can't grab that. You can't decide that you want that. That has to be given unto you. That's a gift from Yahweh Shai Shai that, according to prophecy, only a remnant would attain according to the mercy of the Lord. And those are the rich that sit in low place. Guys like BG, the original hot boy, Bill Gates, those are not real rich men. They have possessions, but they're not the rich men. All right. The DuPonts, the Gettys, they have possessions. They have resources, but they're not the real rich men. Because their riches is corruptible and is temporary. And they know that. Yet the real rich who shall reign under Hamashiach forever are sitting in a lower state. Lord willing, we be a part of that number. And when you look at Ecclesiastes 10 and 6, it's beautiful how many layers there are to it. Because again, the rich sit in low place. As a nation of people, even LeBrons and the Kanyes and the Jay-Z's, they're not rich compared to their counterparts. They're not rich compared to these Edomites. They have possessions, but they're not actually rich compared to these Edomites. They have more than the average Jake, but that doesn't make them rich. Because being rich amongst poor people doesn't necessarily make you rich. That's why the scriptures say they reign as kings. No, it says they reign like kings. Salakia. Let's go to it. This is 1 Corinthians 4 and 8. It says, now you are full, now you are rich. Ye have reigned as kings without us. And I would to Yahweh Shai Shai ye did reign, that we also might reign with you. Now, the key word is that they reign as kings, but they're not kings. All right. They have power over poor people. You know, when you're rich compared to the poor people of your nation, but you're not rich compared to the rich people of other nations, you're not really rich. You're just rich amongst poor people. And that's why they reign as kings amongst you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. And Esau does that to put a battery in our people's back to chase something that doesn't even exist. Their kingdom is getting ready to fall. And all the things that they give you in these podcasts when they sitting there telling you about how we're going to be here from generation to generation, and you got to build your wealth here. They're doing that because, again, they've learned from the master hunter, which is Esau Edom. All right. They sell you a dream and then they catch your resources. They catch your finances. All right. Real quick. It says, ye have reigned as kings without us. All right. Now, when you go into that Greek word for as kings or kings, it says basilio, and it says to be king, to exercise kingly power, to reign. It says, Salakia, Strong's definition. You know what? Let's get this outline of biblical usage. The second definition, all right, says metaphor to exercise the highest influence, to control. So that's ultimately what they're set up as. They're set up as a high influence to influence our people to dive more deeper into wickedness and vanity. Because when you attach your identity to possessions, it's vain. And the Lord been telling us that the whole time. But our people are trying to find out the hard way. You know, the brother Isaiah always say this, you know, Jake mentality is get rich or die trying, and most of them die trying. But guys like the so-called celebrities that are propped up keep that race going. All right. So Lord willing, this was edifying. I just want to go into that through the spirit, because, again, there's a translation of power happening. And the real rich are going to be placed in positions of power under Yahushua HaMashiach. Lord willing, we be a part of that number. But what is considered rich in this society amongst our people is going to be cast back down where it belongs. All right. This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 6 and verse 24. But the multitude of the wise is the welfare of the world, and a wise king is the upholding of the people. Wisdom of Solomon 6 and 20 reads, therefore the desire of wisdom bringeth to a kingdom. If your delight be then in thrones and scepters, O ye kings of the people, honor wisdom that ye may reign forevermore. And that should be the desire. See, our people want to look like royalty without actually being royalty. And only path to royalty is through the straight gate of humility. All right. So Lord willing, this was edifying. With that, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, who are the elders of Yashar Allah, and a sincere salutation to all you Akim, who are preaching this word and believing this word, and to the Akwath, who are believing this word and all truth and in sincerity. Shalom.